told there's some real money in the room.
You are now tuned into the Bob Report.
Well, first of all, I go into my name, you know what I'm saying? Because my name that was given to me at birth, you know what I'm saying? My mother named me Kunta Kinte, you know what I'm saying? So my real name by birth has always been Kunta, you know what I'm saying? So I grew up in this, you know, so-called racist society with the name Kunta, you know what I'm saying? And you know, without a doubt, just having that name has a whole lot of stigma to it, you know what I'm saying? It's basically, you know, I got stereotyped, you know what I'm saying? I received a whole lot of heat just being Kunta, you know? It takes a real lot, you know what I'm saying, to grow up, you know what I'm saying, in a society where people, you know what I'm saying, discriminate against you for the color of your skin, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes even the content of your name, you know what I'm saying? People would discriminate against you for that. So, you know, my name Kunta, you know, and that played into the streets, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the white world, you know what I'm saying? White world, you know, they didn't really want me to go out there and be no scientist, you know what I'm saying, or no, you know what I'm saying, mathematician or no inventor, you know what I'm saying? They, you know, they left me to go and make something out of myself in the belly of the beast, you know what I'm saying? So this is how, you know what I'm saying, I came to the gangster narrative, you know what I'm saying? Or I came towards the Crips, you know what I'm saying? Because I was always searching for a position to be great, you know what I'm saying? And coming up as Kunta, you know what I'm saying, living in that society where, you know, where motherfuckers hate you because of the color of your skin. It's like almost impossible for a motherfucker named Kunta to even go get a job without having to go through some kind of racial ass discrimination, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, can you imagine the shit that I've been through? Yeah, man, as far as where I'm from Poly, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Ada Street. I'm from, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the east side, you know what I'm saying? I'm grooving, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not something that I like to try to, you know, just put out there and try to, you know, flaunt all in people's face. Cause, you know, I ain't trying to promote the gangbanging narrative, you know what I'm saying? Cause I'm not a gangbanger. I'm just a member of an organization, you know what I'm saying? A prestigious member of an organization, you know, highly decorated, you know what I'm saying? 5-star general of an organization, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much why I've never lost my ties, because, you know, it's like the army, you know what I'm saying? Some people go and join the army and they become a general and they celebrate it, you know what I'm saying? People, when they come back from the war, people be looking up to them, oh, this general such and such, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, he did this and he did this courageous, you know what I'm saying? I'm like that in the streets, you know? I'm a general, you know?
You say you grew up in Poly.
Yeah.
Could you give us a little history of the Poly sector in Fort Worth, Texas?
Well, you know, Poly is really like a neighborhood that's respectfully belongs to the Crips, you know what I'm saying? At one point, you know, it belonged to the white people. Because it was white people in Poly, you know what I'm saying, period. That was one of the places that you couldn't go in Fort Worth, you know what I'm saying, if you was black, okay. You know what I'm saying? But then when, you know, Stop 6 was one of the first black neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying, in Fort Worth. So when the blacks moved to Stop 6, the white folks moved out of Poly. Because Stop 6 is right next door to Poly, you know what I'm saying? So, I grew up in the 80s, man, you know what I'm saying, in Poly, you know what I'm saying? I really came from Butler housing, okay, because my mama started out right there on 1600 Chambers. That's how I really met T-Money, you know what I'm saying, Tony Davis, you know what I'm saying, Cedric, all the people, you know, Fatty, Shakun, you know what I'm saying, Carl Lindsay, C-Man, you know what I'm saying? We all grew up from, you know, from the projects. That's why, you know, when you lower class, you know, your people, when they move into, you know, they got to move to something most affordable. And at the time in the 80s, the projects was the most cheapest place for a poor person to live. So you found a whole lot of people that was living on Chambers, you know what I'm saying? But then my mama moved from Chambers, which Chambers is still the east side, you know what I'm saying? The Butler houses is the east side, you know.
How's the Butler the east side, man?
Well, you better go
right there, man.
No,
I've been arguing
southeast.
for
well, you better go. You better go look at the demographics. They say no. They don't say south side Butler housing. They say east side Butler housing because it's like it's on the belly of the east. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to look at where we at. We on the west. You know, the west is straight.
Yeah.
And then right there, if you go the opposite direction, that's the east. So that's where our area come in at. Now, when you look at the south, which is right there, you know what I'm saying? And then you look at the north, which is right there, you know what I'm saying? The north, you know what I'm saying? We know what, you know what I'm saying? That's where they broke it off at. They broke the east off right there on like the line of downtown.
Yeah.
That's where they stopped the east side at.
That's where they stopped it.
That's where they stopped their landmarks that represent what's considered the east side of Fort Worth.
I Am Terror would be considered on the east side.
No doubt it is. You know what I'm saying? Because all them dudes from you know, all that area, you know what I'm saying? They all scream the east. You know what I'm saying?
They do.
They scream the east. You know, they know.
Yeah.
Because it's a known fact that, you know, Butler housing homies, most of my homies, they still, you know what I'm saying, was repping the Butler housing, even though they'd have shut it down. You know, and a lot of our people ain't really even do nothing about how they shut the Butler housing down. They shouldn't even been able to close something down that was ours.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you show you that black people, we don't have control over nothing, bro. You see, because we let these people close, and then look what happened. After they closed the Butlers down, them little youngsters, man, they moved into the Buttercups. Yeah. They moved into, you know, different areas, you know what I'm saying? And things got worse because these people were disenfranchised by the fact of being displaced. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody really looked or even cared at the fact that these people was being displaced from their homes. You know how much melancholy that is for a person to run around with that on his conscience and his shoulder that he don't have nowhere now? Because, you know, them little brothers hung out in the projects. That was their everyday thing. You know what I'm saying? They sat there and they was there every day. So when they took that away from them, they really opened the can of chaos. Mm-hmm. Basically sending all them displaced brothers into other people's territories where they not even from. Yeah. Forcing them to have to, you know what I'm saying, go into foreign territories to even, you know what I'm saying, call themselves finding a home. So what that did was that made a bunch of irritation, because that's where all the shooting is coming from and all the violence is coming from, is that these people are steady closing these big complexes down, and these little men, these families and these kids and everybody that's living there, they have to go into other neighborhoods, which sends everybody into chaos. Because everybody knows that, you know, we all have this neighborhood thing going on in Fort Worth, that if you're not from this neighborhood, you can't be over here. That's been going on for a long time. That's probably everywhere in the United States on how black people treat each other like that. Yeah. But we'll say, hey, you can't go in this neighborhood. See, but that's dumb, you know what I'm saying? We should always welcome our people when they displaced. Yeah. We should always open our arms to our brothers, because no matter where y'all from, we all still the same people. Okay, and they did it with the New Orleans people. Yeah. And see, as you can see, when New Orleans people had came, it was a bunch of problems with that. Yeah. You see, a bunch of violence and all that, you know what I'm saying? But then that's gonna always be the end result when somebody is displaced and y'all have nothing to offer them. Nothing. So
they move them from the Butler
to
a stop six.
Right, and not to just get off topic, you know what I'm saying? Because I was really talking about me being from Polly, but I started out in the Butlers. Then my mama, you know what I'm saying, she moved to Polly, to like Little John. The first place I stayed in Polly was on Little John, you know what I'm saying? And I was going to D. McGray, D. McGray Elementary. I went with Duke, I went with Damian Dancer, Lisa, Tully Salazar, Remedio, Vanacio, because you know the Mexicans and the blacks, we've been on a real peaceful level in Polly for some years now. I mean, for decades. Yeah. The blacks and the Mexicans were crossed over into each other's culture. Mi comprende mucho español. Okay. Mi familia es español.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with all the way with it. When I go into my community, I don't just speak, English. I can speak Spanish because I got friends that speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And when we talk in Spanish. We don't even talk in English. There's no need. I've been living there all my life. I've been living in Poly for over 40-something years, So there's no need for me to even use the English language because I've been around for so long, around these Mexican people. And I watched them integrate, you hear me? I watched them integrate into our neighborhood. I watched it where when it was just a few Mexicans to the damn near the whole neighborhood was almost Mexican. And you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, now it's like, Poly is like, probably like 45% Mexican, you hear me? Or maybe even more than that, probably like 60% Mexican and 40% black.
Yeah, that sound about right.
Yeah. But we all get along, bro. It's been times where we went to war with the Mexicans, the Latin Kings, the PLMs, you know what I'm saying? All them gangs, you know what I'm saying? We went to war with them over there. But after, so long of just dealing with people, you know what I'm saying? You begin to understand one another, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You stop the stupidity as far as the disagreement, and you get to the bottom, you know what I'm saying, of the facts. And that's, hey man, we in this same neighborhood. How can we continue to fight each other? And that means that, we dumb ants if we doing that, you know what I'm saying? Because when you look at an ant farm, they all in there together. Ain't nobody fighting, not each other. They only fight the outsiders, the threats that come inside of the ant farm, you hear me? Yeah. So that's how we became, you know what I'm saying, in my neighborhood in Poly, you know what I'm saying? I'm from 8th Street,
So being from Poly on 8th Street, how did you, or where did the Crip flag originate? Where did it come from?
Well, it came from two people. It came from Rank, you know what I'm saying? And it came from Hoover Dre.
Okay.
Now, Hoover Dre is my big homie. Hoover Dre put Lil C down, he put Pokey down, he put me down. Lil C put Carlos, Bubba, and IDI down. And then everybody after that, Duke put them down. That was over there, you hear me? And then you had the 817 homies, Paul Bell and Mike Gotti and them was over there putting niggas on with the 18-7 Prince Hall. And then, you just, I know, a lot of people don't understand how this shit break down as far as how it all started, you know what I'm saying? Because you got so many different people telling you, well, Rank started it, and then you hear this, but it really started, Crippin really came to the city of Fort Worth through a cat named Nolan, man. Okay. And he was 103rd Great Street, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was the first Crip on the scene, you know what I'm saying? And from him it was L.A. Ron and Crip T and them, you know what I'm saying? Them homies was repping 6-0.
And they were in Como.
Then they was in the Como area, you know what I'm saying? Nolan them was in Rolling Hills. Okay. At first, but then they switched to Berry Hill, you know what I'm saying? They went from Rolling Hills to Berry Hill, but that's really pretty much almost the same area. It's almost the same area. But with 8th Street, I'm one of the day ones. I'm one of the first people to start the street called 8th Street, you hear me? Mm-hmm. I was there when the street started. It was me, E.T., a dude named Cedric, you know what I'm saying? A dude named Snow, you know what I'm saying? And these are my homies. Rip to Sid, because Sid no longer here, Snow is no longer here. E.T., my homeboy doing a life sentence bid, bro. And he been locked up for a minute, like 27 years on it. We trying to, get him a review on his case right now. But it was really us, and then there was some Trey homies like Lil Crazy, Julian, Desmond, you know what I'm saying? C-Rat, Big Paul, and these were the people that were, responsible for starting 8th Street.
How long did it take for Nolan to, I guess, spread the Crippin in Fort Worth?
Well, see, now it didn't really start spreading like that because, see, Nolan really wasn't putting no bunch of people down. He put only a few dudes down, graping them, you know what I'm saying? He didn't put no lot of, all the descendants behind Nolan was people that started from like the first couple of dudes he put down, then they went to putting people down, and then, you know, it's a chain reaction after that, you know what I'm saying, in multiple fractions on how things constantly keep breaking down into, you know, tinier numbers, you know what I'm saying, but the same idea is getting performed. You see, the numbers spread. Once you put a person down, then y'all two put somebody down. Then y'all three put somebody down, and then you ain't doing nothing, and them two going to put somebody down, and them three is going to put somebody down. Then the second person that started with you, he don't do nothing. Them two go put somebody down. Then it's them three, and then it's four, and then it's five, and then it just continues to spread, you know. That's how it worked. But we put, you know, everybody got put down, you know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes was going to Hooverland to get put on.
From the east side? From
the east side, you know what I'm saying?
On the south side?
Yeah, they was going to the south side to Hooverland, you know, to get seed in, because that was the place to get seed on if you really wanted to be put on with 5 dudes. Hoover, you hear me? You had to go to Hooverland at first, you know what I'm saying? But see, my era didn't come from there. I was in the Stop 6 projects, you see? And a lot of these cats be claiming that they was there, you hear me, in the Stop 6 projects, but on the set, they wasn't, you know what I'm saying? And I got homies like Lil Dodo. I got homeboys like Carlos Bode and K-Love, you hear me? And, you know, Lil Romeo, you know what I'm saying? Booger, Adiyah, you know what I'm saying? Cricket, you know what I'm saying? All these Stop 6 Crips, right? Because a lot of the Bloods was also Crips too. I ain't gonna even put them out there, but a lot of Bloods now that are Bloods, they started out as Crips, you know what I'm saying? But they wasn't put on right. So they went on and got down with the Bloods set because the Bloods was offering to put niggas on right. Because a lot of niggas that was out there, some of them niggas was just claiming Crip. They wasn't put on. And we had to do a whole lot of weeding and seeding with the dudes that wasn't really on, you know what I'm saying? That went on for a long period of time where we had to, you know, separate the guys that really got put on from the guys that was just saying they was on, you know.
So you mentioned Nolan being from California, LA Run, Crip T. Can you, to your best ability, explain the California gang banging and the Texas gang banging? Because Fort Worth is one of the first places Crips and Bloods came to in Texas.
Okay.
And it's not a baby, it's been around.
Nah, we've been around for a minute. Like we want to, you know, they used to call us the murder capital of the world. You know what I'm saying? Fort Murder Worth, you know what I'm saying? Because at some point, you know, the murder rate went up to the roof here in the city, you know what I'm saying, with the gang bang, you know what I'm saying? But if you want to, you know, when you get down to the who's who, you know what I'm saying, and you want to, you know, break it down to like say that again. Just, you know. Which part? Your questions.
You know, so it's different politics in the gang banging in Texas and Fort Worth mainly, and in California and LA mainly. It's different type of politics that go on. Sometimes a few cats out in California, I'm not gonna say they don't respect the gang.
Nah, but they really need to look at us because we different from California. We are. See, it's a lot of criminals in California now, you know what I'm saying, Hoover criminals. That's not going down in the city of Fort Worth. We're not Hoover criminals here. We Hoover Crips. And it's gonna stay, we're gonna stay that car. And we don't care what nobody say as far as whoever call themselves, whatever they is, they can't change that reality. We'll never become something that somebody else made up. We trace ourselves all the way back to the original Hoover Joe. You know what I'm saying? We trace all the way back to Hoover Joe. And he one of the original day one homies from 52nd Street, you feel me? And Hoover Boulevard.
California.
Yeah, we trace back, Fort Worth really traced back to homie, to him, to Hoover Joe. And that's through Hoover Drake. You know, then Lil Rank, he goes all the way back to Louisiana.
Shreveport. To
Shreveport, exactly, because that's where he came from, you know what I'm saying? Right, exactly. So our roots with Crippin in the city is serious, you know what I'm saying? We believe in the Crip Constitution, you know what I'm saying? We believe in the old law in Fort Worth, you know what I'm saying? And then we went a little farther than where they are in Cali. Because see, in Cali, you can't go in certain neighborhoods and you a Crip. A Crip can't go to another Crip neighborhood. We don't do that in Fort Worth. See, we was never banging against the 6-0s in Fort Worth. See, the 6-0s was in Como. And from Lil Mafia, Jerome, Watkins, you hear me? To Corn, you hear me? To Nate, to Huck, you know what I'm saying? To Chemo, Von Eric Bridgewater, all the 6-0 homies. We all, you know, Big Q, all the big homies that's 6-0 right now. I've been knowing them all my life, and we've been friends, close. It was never we gonna go and we gonna be against each other because you represent 6-0 and I represent Hoover. We always came together like Crips and went and put the work in, you know what I'm saying? And that was it. We never had no problem with each other because of us being different kind of Crips. And that's something that goes on in Cali that you don't see in Fort Worth. And they really, you know what I'm saying, should look at that as an example, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not telling them how to Crip, but that's kind of, cause I got my license say California right now. My daughter was born in California, you know? So I've been to Cali. Been down there and Crip from Texas style, you hear me? Yeah. I went down there and Cripped on them niggas, man, real spill. And they respect Texas, you hear me? Yeah. But we not in their car. What they got going on, they beef as far as how the Crips plex with each other, they don't throw us in that. The first thing they said with Texas, we ain't gonna put y'all in our beef. We not. Because when I went down there, I come to find out that you can't go to the jungle, you hear me? You can't be no Hoover or wear no orange and no place in the jungle, you hear me? Them homies will come out. The jungle Crips, you hear me? Yeah. Nah, they ain't playing. And when I went down there, they surrounded me, you hear me? Because I had on orange and blue. But I didn't know that that's what they tripping about. I mean, you know, we tripped about colors in Fort Worth, red and blue, you know what I'm saying? We tripped on colors, but they're a little more technical with theirs, fam. You know what I'm saying? Cali a little more technical, and I mean, I wouldn't call it petty. I would just say technical, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're a little more technical because you can't go in certain hoods and you a Crip. But in Fort Worth, the Crips are welcome to all neighborhoods. We all local together. You might, Trey, they might be on the north side. Five Deuce, they might be in, you know what I'm saying, Edgewood Park. But you're gonna catch the Trays, you know what I'm saying, at the 5 Deuce Day, and you're gonna catch the Deuces at the Trey Day. Yeah. And you're gonna catch the 6-0s at both of them. You see, in Fort Worth. And nobody's tripping. If it's problems with Crippin in our city, we handle it like grown homies, you know what I'm saying? And we let everybody come to the circle, and them dudes that got problems, they get to punch on each other, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then they got a lock season, that's the end of it. That's how we've been doing it for years, you know what I'm saying? We don't let it get to the point to where we want to do drive-bys and, you know what I'm saying, and just start beefing with neighborhood for neighborhood. Now, it did happen though, you hear me? Mm-hmm. Because, you know, you had a Pollywood and an ag land thing going for a long time in Fort Worth, you know? And then you had also a South Side and a Como thing going, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, after the old heads, you know, get the meeting up, man, people go to talking, people go to, you know, stepping up and stepping out, you know, the logic and the reasoning kick in, man, and brothers go to making sense of the stupid shit, man. That shit get played out and the stupid people get singled out. And they gonna rock with the program or they gotta be renegade and they don't get to fuck with the circle. That's just the way it works, you know what I'm saying? When you deal with, you know what I'm saying, everybody, when everybody's everybody, it ain't about no certain set no more. It's about respect. Yeah. And respect comes from, everybody's supposed to give respect until you deserve to be disrespected. And that's how we treat each other in Fort Worth as Crips. And that's what make us all get along, you know what I'm saying? See, they don't got that going on in Cali, and that's the real biggest difference, you know what I'm saying? And then another one is that we lock C's in Fort Worth and in Texas. They don't do that in Cali. They don't lock C's. They don't even shake hands with it. You know what I'm saying? They word them out. What's up, cuz? What set you from? What car you in? You know what I'm saying? That's how they approach. So, you know, it's some differences, but it ain't nothing real major though. I mean, we all still Crips. I mean, I love my niggas from Cali. You know what I'm saying? I got mad love from homies from Cali. I got a lot of homies that's Cali, you know what I'm saying, that rep, you know what I'm saying, that's grooving, you know what I'm saying, 6 tray, you know what I'm saying, 8 tray, you know what I'm saying. I got a lot of homies, 5 deuce, you know what I'm saying. Had a chance to even meet Nipsey, you know. And then, believe it or not, I went up there to Nipsey's shot, and right before, like, man, I went there and the next day he got shot, bro. I went up there to shake his hand, fam. That's on Crip. And I came to tell him, you know, to like, to really just, cause he was already smart. I knew Nipsey was smart as fuck, and I knew if we would've got together, man, we probably would've did some major shit, you know what I'm saying? Cause I'm a thinker too. So I went up there to shake his hand, and the next day, bro, the dude, Eric Holden, aired him out. Swear to God, aired him out. Blew my mind. I was on the beach, you hear me? And my girl that came, my baby mama, he came to me, you know what I'm saying? And she say something that happened. I said, what's going on? She say something, the rapper Nipsey done got shot. I say, nah, you lying. She said, nah, I ain't lying. It's on the what you call and everything. So she pulled it up on her phone. And you know how they had Slauson right there, you know what I'm saying? And the laws and all this stuff was out there real bad, fam. It was all bad, fam. I was in Cali when that happened, fam. Real spill.
So Kunta, you were incarcerated on Ferguson.
Yes, I was.
Could you tell us your experience on Ferguson from when you first got off that bus?
Oh man. Well, let me tell you this. It started when you go get your piece of paper and they tell you what unit you going to, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of dudes was going to Ferguson, you know what I'm saying? And Ferguson got such a bad reputation that the dudes was starting to shake and cry, bro. They was like in straight panic, like, oh man, I'm going to Ferguson, man. Oh man, I'm talking about they crying. Niggas was about to commit suicide. Niggas on suicide watching, all that. So I look at my piece of paper, my shit said Ferguson too.
What were you going to Ferguson for?
Murder, attempted murder.
Okay.
Criminal attempted murder. A framed case. I was framed in that case, actually, believe it or not. I'm in the courts right now with that case, with that very case. Because, you know, having the name Kunta, you know, just steers the Caucasians to just want to have a smear campaign, you know what I'm saying, type of disposition towards me whenever they encounter me, you know. Mm-hmm. And that's from any facet of profession. But you know, that just gives me more character, gives me more charisma, you know what I'm saying? Made me as tenacious and with the tenacity that I have, you know what I'm saying? As far as my courage, you know what I'm saying? And the strength in my ability, you know what I'm saying, to never be afraid, you know what I'm saying? It was from the constant trials and tribulations that I was confronted with as far as being confronted with racism, you know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother topic. But they sent me to Ferguson on that note, you know what I'm saying? You know, my name Kunta, so I'm a bad actor, so send him with the bad actors. So, man, Ferguson was a fool, man. It was one of the most gladiator units there ever was, fam. And it's in the history books where niggas was dying on Ferguson. Niggas was getting raped, you know what I'm saying? Niggas was getting, you know what I'm saying, whooped about their motherfucking skin, fam. You know what I'm saying? No cap, you know. When I came through the door, you could feel the tension, man.
What year was this when you hit the door?
I hit the door in like 93, end of 93, like December 93, something like that.
And niggas rocking and rolling.
Man, rocking and rolling. I remember coming through the door, bro, and they did a hit. Right when I was coming through the door, they popped the white boy, some Mexicans did, you hear me? Cause see, when you come in there, you got your chain bag with you, and they got like this admin. Admin is like right there as soon as you come through the side door of the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? Cause it's a long corridor that gives you to the kitchen. This is where they let the fields in at, you know what I'm saying? When the fields workers come in, they let them through this door. But when you catch coming from the chain, they take you through the same door, and then you sit in front of this door, and the warden and everybody see you and tell you what your class is, you know what I'm saying, and what your job is. So we was sitting in that line waiting to be told what our jobs was and where our housing location was gonna be. Cause they tell you what dorm you're gonna be living on or what tank you're gonna be living on. And then they tell you your job occupation And then they tell you, you know what I'm saying, the rules. They give you this MA handbook, tell you about all the contraband rules and case and all that, you know, all the shit that's associated with being in prison. You know what I'm saying? They got it all in writing. But we was standing there in line, and whenever somebody that's on PC come through, they tell everybody to face the wall because they don't want you to see who that person is, because that person is snitching you under protective custody. You hear me? So they brought this white boy out. You know me, they tell me to face the wall, but I kind of like looking in the corner of my eye to see who they bringing. I see them got the white boy, but then right when they got the white boy close, like, cause the infirmary is also right there too. So when they kind of got him out like close to the infirmary, I see 3 Mexicans running up. They running up on the food. And the man went to like, hey, stop.
As soon as you got there?
As soon as I got there. First thing I see, fam, they stab him right here, fam. Pop, they pop him, you hear me? Right here is a main artery, fam. It's like the worst place to ever get stabbed at, fam. It's right under your arm, you'll bleed to death instantly. If you don't stop you from bleeding, you'll die right there on the spot. And they stabbed the white boy and he died right there on the spot, my guy. No cap. That was the first thing I seen coming into the unit of Ferguson. That was the first day. That's how hard that unit go, fam.
What did that do to your mental when you probably, not probably, you were who you were on the street, so
yeah, so now it put you in a mode to where you somewhere where you can kill, you can die. You know you somewhere where people are not playing around and they will kill you, you know. So you're not so quick to be, just walking around trying to be friendly. It puts you in a state to where you tensed up, you know what I'm saying? And you're trying to find out who's comes from the same city that you is, because it's like the first thing you do when you get to prison. You try to identify with people that's from your city, you know what I'm saying? Because if anything, it's power in numbers in prison. Know that, you know what I'm saying? The first thing that we did, first thing I did was I went to looking for niggas about the city, you know what I'm saying? And shit, that's all that was on the unit Ferguson was the niggas out of Fort Worth. You know, they called us the murder capital of the world. And for that, I guess, that made Ferguson the killer unit. Because that's pretty much where they had all the niggas from Fort Worth at, you hear me? It was on Ferguson, yeah. Oh man, everybody was over there, bro. Dewberry was over there. And Dewberry from Dallas. He from West Dallas. Anthony Dewberry, that's my homeboy. He from West Dallas, my nigga. That nigga, he can fight, you know what I'm saying? He know me real good too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we lived on the same dorm together, rise together, smoking. Yeah, shit, like damn near 6 years. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Dewberry was on there longer than that. Yeah. I just had a 6-year sentence. So I stayed my whole sentence, but Dewberry was there, you know what I'm saying? And he stayed longer, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but we ended up being best friends though, you know what I'm saying? We ended up getting tight. Me, him, two, and my dude Tavares Mays. You know what I'm saying? And my homeboy Crazy, you know what I'm saying? Raymond, you know what I'm saying? And then my other partner, you know what I'm saying? Eastwood Black. We all ran together. But then really Damon Osby too, you know what I'm saying? We all was on the same pod, because when I got there, I didn't have no class at first. I went straight to medium custody. You know what I'm saying?
Or were you Crippin?
Of course. Of course. I come through the door Crippin, you know what I'm saying? Now they talking about they was gonna check me, you know what I'm saying? For being a Crip, you know? And then my people was like, nah, y'all ain't gonna check him. He from Fort Worth and we'll check him. Yeah. Y'all can't check him. And he really a ranking known Crip, so y'all damn sure can't handle him funny, cause we, you know what I'm saying, we'll start a ride behind this nigga right here, you know what I'm saying? So all my people came, started checking on me when I got there, you know what I'm saying? All the people that knew me from the streets. Cause on Ferguson, there was a lot of people there that knew me from the streets, the Crip that I was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So that brought me a whole lot of respect, you know what I'm saying, and a whole lot of stroke.
Was it racism?
Big time, big time. They took up for the white boys. They gave the white boys the best jobs. The white boys were the maintenance workers. You know what I'm saying? That's the job where you can get stuff like contraband, like cigarettes and all that shit in, you know what I'm saying? You could get that shit in because, you walking around with a toolbox all day. Nobody knows what's in that toolbox. So the maintenance workers was, you know, they was the ones, you know, that was really getting it in. You know, they ain't me trying to, you know, be no rat or no shit like that, but, you know, they had an advantage over the niggas. We had to pretty much like win laws, black officers, you know what I'm saying? Black female officers. We had to like coerce them into bringing shit in for us, you know what I'm saying? They really, a lot of us, as you can see, I'm 46 years old, bro, and the penitentiary is still on me. Yeah. This is a workout. This is what I did, and I worked out like an animal, you know what I'm saying? And to condition my body where I'm still 46 and I look like I just got out the gym.
Yeah, I saw you do a front flip and a back flip.
Yeah, man, I'm spruced up, my guy. I'm spruced the fuck up, so you can imagine how I was when I was in my early teens. Yeah. Cause I came there at 16, like turning 17. I came to Ferguson 16, turning 17. Yeah.
Ferguson when you were 17 years old?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They certified me as an adult and sent me to prison. This is how much they hated the name Kunta. They did all of that just because of that name, fam. The white folks did it. The police, Fort Worth Police Department did that. Yeah, they did that.
So you were convicted as an adult?
As an adult for a crime that I did not commit. So do you imagine how much rage I went down there with? I went down there, bro, and I put this on my life, and anybody from Ferguson would tell you that I was a nightmare, fam. I crashed on niggas behind this Crip shit, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no, you know, especially white boys, I'm sorry, and I'm not a racist, you know what I'm saying? But down there, it's race. It's a race situation down there in prison. The whites hang out with just the whites, the blacks hang out with just the blacks, the Mexicans hang out with just the Mexicans. We don't share our food, we don't do none of that shit. And then when you do that, it's considered weak. You know what I'm saying? So it was racist as hell down there, big time. With everybody was racist. The Mexicans was racist, the blacks was racist, and the whites was racist. Everybody's racist in prison, homie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what prison is. Prison strips you down to only that basic ideal of existence. It's the only main thing that matters is your race. Yeah. You know. Then this is over gang banging. Cause you still got that shit going on into the inner weavings of the black social, you know what I'm saying, ladder, you know what I'm saying? You still had the sets, you still had the prison gangs, Mandingo warriors, Black Guerrilla Army, you know what I'm saying? The Zulu warriors, you know what I'm saying? You still had these brothers, which they was the originals, was on Ferguson. Silk and all them dudes that started the Black Guerrilla family and all them dudes that started them big prison gangs that's in Texas right now, they was all in SEG on Ferguson. Okay. They treated them brothers just like they did on Larry Hoover, I swear to God. They got Brother Silk over there right now. You know, he been on SEG for like 20 years. When I went back there and started working SEG, and I came. SEG. Yeah, SEG is where you remember that movie Training Day? Well, Denzel Washington told them niggas, I'm gonna put you niggas on that 23. I'm gonna give you Jordan. Yeah, 23 and 1. That's what SEG is, where you locked up for 23 hours and you only get out for 1 hour a day to recreate, bro.
They bring your food in there.
Yo, you eat in your cell. You don't come out your cell, ever. Go to your visits. Go to the infirmary, or go to the rec yard. That's the only 3 times you get to go out. Oh, 4 times to take a shower. Let you out to take a shower. They let you out to go to the rec yard. They let you go out to your visits and let you go out to the infirmary. But Ferguson was hell, bro. I mean, that motherfucker was full of motherfuckers that was fighting. Everybody was fighting. When you come through the door, you had to fight.
You had to fight.
You had to fight, period. I don't care who you was, you had to squabble. Now, I had a whole lot of fights on Ferguson. I fight my ass off, and you can ask Dewberry. Dewberry will tell you that. Anybody that was from Ferguson would tell you that. I went to Ferguson twice.
So you know all the original Ferguson guys, you know?
Yeah, the Midway Connection.
That's what it's called.
It's Midway Connection. My homies is on there. Yeah, everybody that ever get out of Ferguson.
That's the Facebook that they got.
Yeah, they got a Facebook called Midway Connection. Everybody on Ferguson that from like 93 to 2014, I know them.
Are you on that Facebook page?
No, I don't really get on their Facebook page. I get on there when somebody get out that I really cut for. And I speak to them and we exchange information. And I call them, you know what I'm saying? I stay on there to stay in touch with my people. But you know, I don't put myself on there, you know what I'm saying? I don't be on there, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not proud of being from Ferguson.
Yeah.
That was inhumane.
How long were you on Ferguson?
I was on Ferguson approximately 10 years, now 11 years altogether. A 7 and a 3. But then it really wasn't a 7, a 6 was in the prison, but a year was in the county. A year in the county fighting the case, and then 6 down there. And then I got out, stayed out for like 10, maybe 12 years, and then I went back. I went back in 2010. Mm-hmm. And then from 2010, I stayed to the end, to the beginning of 2014.
What did you learn while on Ferguson?
Well, I learned that I was a very good fighter. I learned that that I wasn't gonna bend and I wasn't gonna fold, but I was already that way in the streets of Fort Worth. So when I got to Ferguson, that just kind of like polished who I was anyway initially. But what I really did was I realized that I had to come out and be the best version of myself, you know what I'm saying? That's what I really, you know what I'm saying? What I learned from going to prison was that when you go down there, you're supposed to learn something. You're supposed to get you some education, you're supposed to get you some kind of trade knowledge. You're supposed to come out and be the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Apply yourself in a positive and righteous way.
You feel like you did that?
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Of course I did. And that's by any means necessary. And I say that in the same sense as Malcolm X say that. That's by any means necessary. Because what I realize is that I make my own rules. I make my own rules. The only rules that go above my rules is God's. I stopped listening and stopped paying attention to the rules that people are trying to enforce on me. And I realized that they rules can exist. I can exist in their rules and still go by my own rules. Mm-hmm. I just need to set rules that reflect and respect their rules. And that's what I figured out, you know what I'm saying? Is that all of this shit is based off of principle and rule, you know? And if you really wanna, make something out of yourself, be successful, you have to apply and stick to the rules. There's rules of engagement, you know what I'm saying? There's rules to communication, you know what I'm saying? There's rules to combat, you know what I'm saying? There's rules to making money, you know? It's always rules that you're gonna always run into, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And if you follow those rules correctly, you win. And if you don't follow those rules, you lose.
You seem to be well-versed, intellectual gangster. That would be my description of you. So
appreciate that.
No doubt. I'm pretty sure you have a answer to my question.
Okay, run.
Why do you think? Well, I got 2 questions. Why do you think the young guys, and shout out Pops Weasel, he put this on me one morning. But why do you think these young guys are so bloodthirsty to kill? And what is the solution?
Okay, well, first of all, it's called suggestive subliminal seduction. And this is something this is a psychological manipulation that's been played on us for many, many years now. I mean, you look at your phone right now and most of the content in there is violent. Mm-hmm. Nobody's ever questioned the violent content that's being subliminally fed to us. You know what I'm saying? The reason for the bloodshed is because when you classically condition somebody with violence, you take away the remorse.
So we've been, like you said,
we've been desensitized by a constant intel of violent, you know what I'm saying, images and information. If all the information that we taking in is violent and all the information, you know what I'm saying, that we viewing is violent, where does that leave us in our psychological stability? And then what do you call that information? That's psychopathology. You see? And psychopathology, if psychopathology is the curriculum that's being fed to the mind, then what do you have? You have psychopaths, bro. You have people who become psychopaths basically after seeing this information, you know what I'm saying? After viewing this violent information. They wonder why these little brothers got guns, but then they ain't never put together no committee to stop these little young brothers that's rappers that always want to talk about shooting and killing people. See, they ain't doing nothing about the promotion of violence. They want to always do something about the fact that something violent has happened. But see, you gotta kill the problem at the root. You hear me? You gotta kill the problem at the root. You steady going to the branches, but the branches are not the problem. The roots are the problem. And the moment you deal with the root issues, you see, because nobody's practicing gun control. Nobody made these, look at these gun makers, they dumb. They making dumb guns, they making guns to make sure that we can be able to shoot each other in the streets, cold blood. They making guns to guarantee that if you get mad, you will be able to kill me. And nobody's questioned that. Nobody said, hey, man, why are we not looking at these gun makers and making them make guns more intelligent and respectful to human life? So you ask me where the violence is coming from? It's coming from the subliminal suggestion of psychopathology from the 3%. The 3% are the snake motherfuckers who been controlling the narrative of the world. See, the narrative of the world is controlled by a few. We thinking that everybody running around with $1 billion or whatever, you know what I'm saying, $40 billion, they running something, they not running nothing. Man, you got people who've been making that kind of money for eons and the poachers. They say the Saudi princes got enough money to quit the Atlantic Ocean. So the people that's running this and the people that's doing this are the people who've been making the decisions about everything and everyone. And it was their narrative to drive the black man to violence. Because see, you won't empower yourself if you steady running around shooting yourself. Yeah. You won't think about generational wealth if you running around trying to off the next op. You know? You're not thinking about no business if you running around trying to snatch nobody's chain.
And those are solutions also.
Yeah, those are the solutions. But this is the distraction though. This is where the suggestive subliminal seduction is coming from. See, with the imagery, with Feed Me, playing these little games, Call of Duty, you know, all them little games where people running through there with guns and bombs and shit blowing people up. How do you think that works on a person's mind? You know, we want to say, well, oh, blacks is dumb and they killing each other. How did they start thinking like that? And why? But see, nobody wants to ask or answer the real question. And the real answer to that question is that the people who control this narrative in this country, as well as the world, they'd seen it fit for us to be lovers of genocide and homosexuals. Look at all the movie stars. They wearing dresses and dressing up like women. Nobody else did it, but why do we have to do it? I'm like David Chappelle. Why do I need on a dress?
Yeah.
But see, this is the narrative of the people who control stuff. And this just really gives you a capsule view of the perspective that I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, represent or respect or portray. It's just like they tried to push David Chappelle into wearing that dress, right? They also try to make us be killers in the same way. They script it up. All of the content that we've been seeing is geared up to make us killers. And then once we go to killing, they look at us and blame us. Y'all dumb, y'all killing yourselves. But now y'all subliminally seducing us to do these acts. And people are not aware of what's really going on behind the psychological screen. And then, you know, that's where we as a people have got to start, like, you know what I'm saying, working together, you know what I'm saying? This is the power of numbers and the power of the mentality of the ant. We gotta work together. We gotta be inside here in these streets. We gotta be inside here in this corporate world, you know what I'm saying? The Jews are probably the highest representation of ants that are human, you know what I'm saying? The Jews are, you know what I'm saying? Because they do everything in-house. They support each other, they endorse each other, and they uplift each other, and they empower each other. And we do all the opposite to one another. We do just the opposite. We hate on one another. We talk down, you know what I'm saying? We entrap, you know what I'm saying? We rat out, you know what I'm saying? We're doing all these negative things to one another, and we wonder why we don't have nothing as a people. And then you got these rappers, you know, and I ain't trying to just be on their case, because I'm a rapper myself. I like rapping. I ain't got nothing against rappers, but why y'all not rapping about conscious music? Why y'all always rapping about killing our own? Why y'all not rapping to tell these brothers to get them a LLC? Or why y'all not rapping and telling these brothers to get them some land or get them some gold, you know what I'm saying, and silver, you know what I'm saying? Why y'all not rapping information to put these brothers on game? You know, my thing is, where's all the conscious rappers at? Nas, you know what I'm saying, and J. Cole and Common, and you know what I'm saying, all these brothers. Where you brothers at, man? Y'all done shut up. Y'all done got paid off, bought off. I mean, the rap media, the mainstream of rap is too negative, bro. And it's sending a lot of the young brothers into the streets as killers. This music is. And when is y'all brothers who've been in the game forever, the longest, when are y'all gonna stand up and start a council? Because see, they do this in the government. The branches, right? You got the executive branch, you got the judicial branch, and you got the legislative branch, right? It's another one too. But anyway, but each one checks the balance of the other. Yeah. You understand? And our people have not done that with the rap, with the movies, you hear me? And with the stuff that's going on in the streets. Because we need some committees put together to balance this stuff out. These little brothers need to be held accountable for the reckless stuff that they saying. And they should be, you know, the game. I ain't saying you gonna say what you want to say. That's not what I'm preaching. It's always free thought and freedom of speech, and I preach that to anyone. But why would you use your mind in a reckless and counterproductive way, or in a way that does not serve your people any of benefit? If you out here moving, I mean, this the problem right here. A lot of these dudes is on drugs, man, and they don't know these psychotropic drugs was designed to keep them on a lower vibration, you see? So when these brothers be taking these perkies and these smoking, you know what I'm saying, whatever they be doing, whatever the shit they be doing, a lot of the time, they algorithms be low, fam. And that's the whole design of the enemy, is to have your algorithms and your vibrations low. That way you can be manipulated and controlled. Yeah. You can be pushed along like sheep and cattle, you see? And that's where our people are today, psychologically, collectively, you hear me? We are like cattle. We are being pushed along, you see? And this is why there is no checks and balances with what these little young rappers is doing. These little young thugs that's in the streets that call themselves gangsters or in cliques or whatever. There's no checks and balances. There's no morality, you see. Only moral turpitude.
Are you active in the streets when it comes to talking to the youngsters?
Very. I'm very active, bro. I mean, you could go through the city and just say, hey man, you know that dude Kunta. And everybody that's ever encountered me, I done either gave them some game or I done planted seeds into their mind so that they can fertilize and their mind can really blossom into a true flower of inspiration and enlightenment. Because that's really what it's about, you know what I'm saying? You can call me the ghetto Johnny Appleseed, you know what I'm saying? Because what I do, and I've been doing this, and this is some gangster stuff, you know what I'm saying? This is a part of my gangsterhood. This is a part of my character, to where I feel like it's each one teach one according to his knowledge. See, I ain't the type of brother that's gonna watch little brothers crash out. and I have something to say. I'm gonna be like, hey, little brother, y'all know that ain't it right there. And then, you know, you always just can't tell a brother that he being dumb. You gotta show him another smart way. You see? So that's what I do. I tell a brother, I expose the fact of the mischief and the mayhem behind the disposition. And then I show them the right steps, the way to play chess. You know what I'm saying? Because this really is about chess, and chess is a game of life. You know what I'm saying? And most people don't understand that your moves have to be strategic. You know what I'm saying? You have to strategize with your moves. Your moves got to be calculated. If you got on the chessboard and somebody moved a knight, which pawn would you push? Which pawn would you push to get mate in 7? You would push the one next to the queen. If you know.
Okay.
But this is what it is, you know, when you have it up here though, to understand that strategy and planning is the way you have to live your life. You know what I'm saying? You can't come out here thinking that you can do shit on the wham, you hear me, just because, or feel like you know everything. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And you can only know something once you know someone.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know anyone, what are you learning? It's like the goat that went to the cliff and jumped off. Would you jump off too? You seen the goat do it.
Yeah.
Would you do that? Or would you look at the fact that the goat fell and he died? And you would say, hey man, that ain't it. I don't want to die. Yeah. So I'm not gonna do that. And this is where we got to get our little brothers at in their minds. We got to understand that, hey man, that's the cliff over there. And if you jump off that, you die.
Yeah.
You go to jail or you die. And ain't nobody telling our little brothers this. And they ain't finding that out until they locked up, you know what I'm saying, wrapped up tight like a Christmas present, you know what I'm saying? They got the, you know, the authorities, you know, which, you know, I have a problem with authority. I do, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not with the police like that. The police have never gave me a reason to trust them. They've only showed me that they will continuously betray us and infiltrate our community. So I have no respect to the police until they start really being police and doing their job. And you know how they gonna do that? Stop sending these white boys to our neighborhoods. Stop sending white people. Don't send them more white folks over there to the blacks to police them. Send them white folks over there in River Oaks, White Settlement, and all that other stupid, wherever y'all live at. Send them over there. Let's see if they behave the same way with y'all that they behave with us. And then if you do that, nobody can say, well, if somebody get their ass whooped, get hit over the head with a baton, get clunked upside the head with a flashlight, it was a black man that did that to another black man. So we got to look at ourselves then, rather having to look at y'all as enemies instead of coming to our neighborhood and y'all feel like y'all just mercenaries or whatever and just want to continue to kill us. Yeah. You know, so I'll never respect them until they segregate the legal system. Should no black people see white judges? Why? Why are black people seeing white judges? So that they could be racist to us. That's why. Yeah. And we dumb. Because we steady going into their courtroom and these white judges is in there. See, if I go to court right now and there's a white judge in there, I'm gonna say, hey man, I don't want to talk to you, brother. I know you don't know me, you're not from my neighborhood. You never ever seen me a day in your life, so how could you judge me? Yeah. But this is the dumb shit that we've been allowing to go on for so many years as far as when it comes to us as a people. And when you look at the youngsters in this community, boy, they done got out of control, bro. And the real solution is we gotta find something better for these youngsters to do, man. We gotta give them something more positive than being, you know, on the streets. Because we were hanging out on the streets and we thought it was cool, and it did the worst to us. That's what we're supposed to draw the line at and said, hey, the streets is a dangerous place. We should not turn our children loose there. Mm-hmm. We let our children go on the streets thinking that's a good place to hang out, and they end up getting shot or killed or end up turning into drug dealers or criminals.
Hey, real tone, it's some real money in the room.